I want to talk a little while with you from this thought, exiled at home. Exiled at home. You know, when we talk about the exile, we always talk about the folk who are carried away. Yeah. But we never really deal with those who are left to deal with the ruins and the rubbish. Some of you might remember the song Friends that raised the question, how many of us have them?
All right.
Ones we can depend on.
Come on, Pastor.
Some of you may have heard the story of one Humpty Dumpty who sat on a wall and had a great fall. You know, it's ironic about that story because the story does not say that Humpty was an egg. But every time we see the story articulated, Humpty Dumpty is an egg. And because Humpty Dumpty is sitting on the wall and he's an egg, I had to ask myself, did he not have a friend who would pass by him, seeing him sitting on the wall and say, Humpty, you know how fragile you are. If you stay on the wall, it could break you down. But I believe that Humpty sat on the wall because he needed to see what was on the other side of the wall. I think that some of us, even though we are fragile, even though if we stay there long enough, we'll end up broken and we'll end up in despair, we try to sit on the wall. And we're able to see what's on the other side. The prophet Jeremiah says that I'm setting before you life, the way of life and the way of death. But the reality is that when we cannot see through the wall, we're looking at two bad choices. Neither option really sounds good. On one hand, you can surrender to your enemies and you can stay alive. But when you live your life, your spirit will be broken. If you don't believe me, go visit the 137th Psalm where the writers say, how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? You can live physically, but your spirit will be broken. On the other hand, you can surrender to God's will because God is fighting this battle. You think you're up against the Babylonians, but this is God who's fighting against you. So you can surrender yourself to God's will and encounter the sword, the famine, and the pestilence. You will be faced with an enemy that won't have any pity, any mercy, any compassion to your state of mind. Some of us think that we can escape these two choices, but I want you to know that God has your number. You're only a phone call away from having to make such a critical decision to them. When we're able to see clearly, when we have clarity of sight, we begin to see that while we spend our time praying for divine salvation, God is acting toward destruction. Y'all know the phrase, when you've tried everything else, then try God. After you've gone to mama, after you've gone to daddy, after you've gone to your job, after you called all your friends, after all that, if you're still struggling, then try God. I always wonder why we never come to God first. Jesus says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. But I find too often that we want to make God our last choice. We buy into that after we tried everything else. Try God. When they were in this text, they raised the question that perhaps the Lord might do what the Lord has always done. I want to know if you take God for granted. because God has done things in your life before that surely after you've gone to Egypt, invested in them to protect you and found that they have let you down, now you find yourself trying to come back to God and say, perhaps the Lord might do some of those wondrous things that we read about. Perhaps God might cause some money to come out of a fish for me. Perhaps God might raise me from the dead. I think we ought to try God first. These two decisions make us feel hopeless because neither of them works out the way we want them to. Neither of them makes us feel good instantly. And so we need some clarity to determine which way is the way of life, which way is the way of death. Scholars would suggest to us that Jeremiah is saying if you want to live, you need to surrender to your enemies. And that's problematic for us because Jeremiah doesn't practice what he preaches. Now, he's a prophet who heard from the Lord, but he doesn't surrender to the Chaldeans. He doesn't give in to the Babylonians. He stayed exiled at home. He stays there, and so he suggests to us that God is making them into community, even in the midst of their worst circumstances. But Jeremiah says God is going to give you into the hands of your enemies. They're going to burn you with fire. And we read this and we start to think it's a terrible thing to be burned with fire. But if you live long enough, you will know that fire isn't always bad. In fact, when you go home for your Sunday dinner, you are going to turn on your stove and your oven and it's going to get hot. There's going to be some fire under your food because you want the impurities to get out. Some of you are going to eat that chicken that they recalled. You don't want that listeria, so you try to turn up the heat. You see, fire gets out impurities out of our lives. But the farmer says, when the land has been so rich that it can no longer produce, I'll set it on fire so that I can lay down a new crop. It's interesting here because when you go back to Chronicles, I believe in 2 Chronicles chapter 6 and 7, as Jeremiah talks about these Babylonians are going to destroy the temple. Y'all know the verse. You all like to quote 2 Chronicles chapter 7, verse 14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I'll forgive their sin. I'll heal the land. Jeremiah's already setting them up for a divine healing. But too many of us want to get out the fire. That we can't see God is cleaning us up so he can plant some new crops. Plant some new seeds in our lives. Then I know we have refrigerators now. I know we can rely on the cold keeping our food together. But if you go back about 150 years, before there was a refrigerator, folk had to lay and cover their meat with salt. After they covered it with salt, they smoked it. you know what happens when you smoke, you need fire.
Yeah.
But it keeps it from spoiling. It makes it last longer. When God sets us on fire, we won't easily be broken down. It makes us last longer. It makes you go through stuff. Jeremiah talked about it a few days earlier when he went down to the potter's house. He saw the potter working on the wheel, and he talked about this clay and the potter, and he understood that if the pottery was going to survive some rough stuff, it had to first be put in the fire. But here's one more thing, and I'm going to get ready to let you go. When God sets us on fire, it protects us from enemies. You think the fire is dangerous to you, but what God is doing is keeping folk out and also keeping you in. God is showing you don't need to go anywhere, but he's also showing you folk can't get to where you are. You just got to stay in the fire. You'll be protected from your enemies. You all remember the story of Humpty Dumpty, who was so fragile that he sat on the wall and had a great fall. The rest of that says all the king's horses and all the king's men. They looked at Humpty, cracked and scrambled. They looked at Humpty, ready to be a hard-fried egg. They said there's no hope. Humpty. They went back to the king and said, King, we tried. We did our very best. We called the best surgeons to try to put Humpty back together again. But King, we could not do it. But I'm glad today that the king did not give up on Humpty Dumpty. Because if you turn in your Gospels, you'll find out that the king sends his son to put us fragile folk who have sat on the wall because we could not see our way out. He sent us his son, the king's horses, the king's men couldn't put us back together again.